This case study is on cultural sensitivity, written by me for Information 7780. So what is cultural sensitivity? It means to be aware of cultural differences and similarities between people exist without assigning them a value. It can sometimes be positive, it can sometimes be better or worse, it could also be right or wrong. For this case study, I decided to use Eastern Michigan University in Ypsilanti, Michigan for this presentation, as I have worked there as part of a practicum in another class. This university is no stranger to me because I went there as an undergrad from 2013 to 2018. The university was started in 1849 and is considered the best in the Midwest. The EMU archives are located inside the Halley Library, which includes the clock tower in the picture to the right. So what does EMU represent for cultural sensitivity? The archive's policy for cultural sensitivity is the same as EMU's overall policy in support for diversity. EMU is one of half of all universities in the country that is open to a huge diversity selection of cultures and would made it clear that no dissent against this policy would be tolerated. The library upholds professional values of free access to information, intellectual freedom, and accessibility for all users, and privacy of information use. So what are the roles and responsibilities in the EMU archives? Cultural sensitivity is the number one priority when it comes to accepting material. The team could make notes on some material that they might find very sensitive to student race on campus. Thus, the material must, before it can be accessed into the collection, it must have the appropriate material that represents no threats to other races or ethics on campus. The archive staff will make sure that the collections must also reflect a legacy focus on documenting the field of historic preservation, educational leadership, and Arab American higher education. The Arab American in higher education is a very important fact for EMU's reputation for open arms for diversity. There are 4 words that best represent EMU's policy for all races and ethics. The first is diversity, which are individual differences like language and learning styles, and group social differences like race, ethnicity, class, country of origin, cultural, religious, or other affiliations can be engaged in the general service of learning. The second word is inclusion, which is the active and intentional ongoing engagement with diversity. Very important for the younger generation to understand different cultures without creating much problems between them and another people's culture. The third word is equity, which is creating opportunities for historically underrepresented populations to have equal access to and participation in education programs that can close the achievement gaps in student success and completion. The fourth and final thing for EMU's policy involves cultural competence. This involves having and applying knowledge and skill in awareness, understanding a skill across oneself or another, and interpersonal and structural interaction. This process could take years to complete, which is the same as the civil rights movement still going on as of today. So what does the future hold for cultural competence? Cultural sensitivity in archives? Well, cultural differences can occur, but maintaining a healthier environment for work, including the archives, can bring respect to all students, faculty, staff, and employees working together no matter what race or ethnicity other people have. The relationship between archival repositories and cultural sensitivity is essential today for all people to understand and respect other people's culture by treating them the same way they want to be treated. It is hoped that in the future we will see more universities, as well as their archives, as well as institutions that can learn from cultural sensitivity, to learn from it, and we can create a better environment for all. This is the end of my presentation. I hope you all enjoyed it, and you all have a good night. Thank you.